Hi, hello, my name is Gomer Joseph. I hope you've all been having a great day so far. Welcome back to another True Crime Tuesdays video. If you are new, I welcome you. Today, I'll be discussing a requested case of the tragic case of Becky Bliefnick. This case was very heartbreaking and disturbing. This loving mother had so much to look forward to in her life. But as someone who was so loved as she was, Becky's loved ones are just devastated to know that she lost her life in such a very brutal manner. Now, I encourage you all to do your own research with this case and not just look at my video for all of the information. Here we go. Becky Bliefnick was born as Rebecca Postel in November 19th of 1981 in Quincy, Illinois, to parents Bill and Bernadette Postel, and she had a sister named Sarah. Becky was described as a dedicated mother of 3 sons. She was a devout Catholic. She brightened the lives of those around her. She was known to be selfless. She went above and beyond for those around her. She was known to be beautiful, fun. Becky loved to laugh. She loved animals, and actually she worked in pharmaceutical sales, but eventually she decided to go into nursing, eventually working as a travel nurse. On February 23rd of 2023 this year, Becky is 41 years old at this point, and she is actually in the process of divorcing her husband, Timothy, who she was married to since 2009. Timothy claims that he was trying to get in contact with Becky that day but received no answer. He goes on to state how he messaged Becky's dad, who also hadn't heard from her at all that day. Becky's dad, Bill, arrives at the house, stumbling across something that no parent should ever have to stumble upon. Bill saw his daughter, Becky's body laying on the floor. And, Bill, he rushed to the neighbor's house and called 911, but unfortunately, it was too late. Eventually, it was determined that Becky was shot, but she was shot 14 times. The police arrived, and they eventually realized that someone broke into the house. They were able to determine that someone climbed up the window into one of Becky's son's rooms and then shot her. The police have a serious crime to investigate, and as they are investigating, they discover that a neighbor's house had surveillance cameras, and they looked into the surveillance footage. In the surveillance footage, they saw a man who actually was covering his head with a hood, but he was unidentified. He was seen to be walking near the house early one morning, which was actually a week before Becky's life was taken. There was also another video that the police discovered where they saw someone riding a bike without any sensor lights on the wheels. And this happened the morning that Becky's life was taken. As for Becky's family, her sister Sarah specifically, they gave Timothy, Becky's husband, the side eye. Because before Becky lost her life, they noticed how toxic the marriage was when Becky decided to go to school for nursing. Now, I did mention before, she used to work in pharmaceutical sales, but a bit after that, she just left that position, obviously, but she actually became a stay-at-home mom afterwards, but she just no longer wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. She wanted to work again, and she saw nursing as her better option. But because of her career choice, it just caused friction between Becky and Timothy, which eventually led to an extremely messy divorce. This divorce was just getting so messy and so toxic to the point where Becky told her sister Sarah that if anything happened to her, then Timothy would be the one responsible. Becky told her sister this because she was pretty much shaken up by the fact that since a coworker of hers was sadly met with a tragic fate from her own partner, and since Becky was saying all this before her life was taken, Sarah informed the cops of her suspicions. And, since the cop knows this information, Timothy was seen as a suspect. Now, Timothy, when he was approached by the cops, he stated how he had an alibi. Timothy claimed that he was home with his sons. But despite Timothy's alibi, the police feel like Timothy is just feeling a bit sketchy. Now as the police were gathering evidence, they discovered a specific bike which was found near his house. This was the same sort of bike found in the surveillance footage, because the bike in the footage had no light reflectors on the wheels, and this same sort of bike that was found near Timothy's house had no light reflectors on the wheels. Now, the police state that they discovered how Timothy had a burner phone, and with this burner phone, he ordered the bike under the name John Smith. The police proceeded to search Timothy's house, then arrested and charged him of taking Becky's life soon after. Now, the really strange part about Timothy's arrest is that after he was arrested, there was this big media frenzy pretty much, because it gained a lot of attention, since not only for the fact that he was Becky's ex-husband who was, charged with taking her life, but he was actually on Family Feud in 2019, making a comment to Steve Harvey when Steve Harvey asked what was the biggest mistake made at his wedding, and Timothy stated, "Honey, I love you, but I said I do." The trial begins and the evidence is presented by prosecutors. During the trial, prosecutors presented their evidence, and the evidence that was presented in court was that, Becky was found with ripped pieces of paper from Aldi, and Timothy's house, it had plenty of bags from Aldi. Since the police knew that Becky's house was broken into with a crowbar, they discovered that Timothy also had a crowbar. They were also able to obtain Timothy's phone and discovered searches about how to open your door with a crowbar. But why in the world would you need to open your door with a crowbar when you should be able to have a key to your house? He also searched up things like how to make a pistol silencer and how to clean off gunpowder off of your hands. They also searched the license plate number of a man Becky had over for Valentine's Day, and this seemed to have been a special friend, and they pretty much used that as motive, saying that Timothy really wanted to take Becky's life since he couldn't see her being with anybody else. The jury reached their verdict and they found Timothy guilty. When Timothy was found guilty, he was sentenced to 45 years to life in prison, but he claims innocence to this day. All of these events occurred in the course of a year, and it was all this year. This month, Becky would have celebrated her 42nd birthday, but the man she married, the father of her children, if Timothy does not repent of his sins and trust in Jesus Christ alone to save him, then he'll be punished for what he did to his son's mother for all of eternity. I just pray that he gets saved so that he could finally admit to what he did. Even though Becky received justice, her loved ones miss her dearly. Her boys are forced to grow up without a mother, and since their father is the guilty party, they're forced to grow up without parents in general. I do pray that God would comfort Becky's loved ones and that they would seek God in their mourning. I thank you all for taking the time in your day to watch this video. If you did like this video, please feel free to hit the like button. If you have any thoughts about this case at all, please leave your thoughts in the comment section below. If you'd like to see more videos from me, please feel free to subscribe and click the bell to be notified about the next video. If there is a certain true crime case that you'd like me to cover, go ahead and let me know. I will see y'all for next True Crime Tuesdays, and I will talk to y'all later.